So I know you're probably thinking, why real estate? Did you know that real estate produces the most millionaires? Do you know that real estate is one of the transitional cornerstone pieces when it comes to financing, having that asset as collateral? So for me, real estate was like, it was self-explanatory. It was, a no-brainer. And it was one of the things that, I felt like I could get into with the least, least amount of knowledge or least amount of experience. You just got to be willing to bet on yourself and just get into it. So to answer that question, why real estate? Because real estate produces millionaires, and real estate has a relatively easy entry point. So I get this question, so how important is mindset when it comes to entrepreneurship? I think mindset is extremely important because, without the right mindset, it's going to be extremely difficult for you to be successful. You're going to have times, entrepreneurship is a beast within itself. You're going to have times when you want to give up, where you just kind of want to throw in the towel. You're going to have times where you don't have the money. You're going to have times where you're faced with difficult issues and difficult decisions. But mindset ultimately will determine, how successful and how far you go. You have to have the right mindset. And for me, the way that I obtained that mindset was, I watched a lot of YouTube channels. I read a lot of books, Think and Grow Rich, The Richest Man in Babylon. A lot of these books, helped me to prepare my mindset. I listened to a lot of podcasts, Bigger Pockets, Black Wealth podcast, the list goes on. But those podcasts basically put me in a mindset or mind frame where I just felt like whatever it is that I was trying to do, in this case real estate, was obtainable. So, I would highly implore anybody who's looking to get into business or entrepreneurship to make sure that you surround yourself constantly with the thing that you want to be. If you surround yourself with, other like-minded individuals, I went to REI meetups, I sought out other people on forums, and had a lot of discussions with, real estate investors. So just make sure you surround yourself with the right type of people, and make sure you read the right books and prepare yourself. And I think the more prepared you feel, the easier it'll be for you to jump out and do what it is that you want to do. I often get this question from a lot of young, entrepreneurs or aspiring entrepreneurs in a sense where, how early can you get started? For me, I got started really early in entrepreneurship. I'm talking about as a kid, going down to the dollar store, buying a 10-pack of candy, putting it in my book bag and going to school and reselling it, during lunch and in between classes. So entrepreneurship is not something that, is relative to age. You don't have to be a certain age to get started. It's basically solving a problem. I knew that kids in school wanted to eat candy throughout the day, and I knew that if I bought a $1 pack of candy, Starburst, or whatever it was, I can ration that out and make a few more dollars and double what it is that I put into it. But entrepreneurship doesn't have an age. But when it comes to real estate, you can actually get started in real estate relatively early. I got started at 18. I feel like I could have got started a whole lot earlier had I known about wholesaling. So, for anybody who's, fresh out of high school or currently in high school and you just want to get started in real estate, there is no age limit. You just have to make yourself valuable. You may not necessarily be able to buy or have the money to buy real estate, but you may be the person who finds properties for other investors and make yourself valuable in that way. If you're looking to get into real estate and you're young, I would highly suggest that you start with wholesaling. Wholesaling has a relatively easy entry point. It'll teach you all the things that you need to do, that you need to know in order to be a successful real estate investor. And also, ultimately, it'll teach you how to deal with people and how to be a good salesman. I get the question all the time, what do I need to get started? So it's not necessarily what you need or how much money do you need to get started, but it's how creative are you willing to be. You can get started in real estate not with any of your own money, but if you find a creative partner, somebody who has credit, somebody who has disposable funds, somebody who maybe with a 401k, you can get started in real estate that way. So the major question is, how creative are you willing to be? Are you willing to make yourself an asset to somebody else? Are you willing to play Robin to somebody's Batman? So the question is not what you need, but how much knowledge are you willing to obtain, and how creative are you willing to be? So you're probably thinking, how much money do I need to get started, and can I invest really with no money down? The answer is, yeah, you kind of can, depending on how much you know. If you know how to invest with no money down, you can invest with no money down. This past year, I was able to purchase a property or get a property under contract with none of my own money. All I basically did was find a person who was in a distressed situation and then link them with an end buyer, and I made $10,000. It's not a question of can you do it, it's a question of do you know how to do it. It all goes back to knowledge. So you can essentially start real estate without having any of your own money. You just have to be creative, and you have to make up in the area of not having any money and make sure that you have enough knowledge. So you can get started in real estate with no money down. You can find other investors who are looking for houses to buy, and you can basically be the finder of said property. You can use other people's 401k. You can use private money. You can use friends and family who are interested in real estate, and you can basically be the overseer of the project or the particular deal. So you can get into real estate with no money down. The question is, do you know how to? So if you follow me on Instagram, I am Edison and you'll probably see it on some of my videos. I do a lot of my rehabs myself, and the reason I do it is because I enjoy working with my hands. So I get the question often, do I need to be handy in order to be a real estate investor? And the answer is no. You don't have to be handy at all. You don't even have to lift a hammer. You don't have to know the difference between a tack and a screw or a nail. You just have to have the will, and you have to have the knowledge. The knowledge is ultimately important, because if you don't have knowledge and people know you don't have knowledge, they'll take advantage of you. So you don't have to be handy in order to get started into real estate. You don't have to DIY anything. You just have to have the knowledge, and you have to find the right people and have the right resources to not be taken advantage of, and ultimately to be successful. So here's the biggest question. Do I have to have a 9-to-5 in order to be a successful real estate investor? And for me, I think a 9-to-5 will help you become a successful real estate investor, because a lot of banks won't lend you money unless you have a W-2. So you have to be a W-2 employee. Having a 9-to-5 alleviates a lot of the stress that comes with real estate investing when you find yourself in a bind. It allows you to be bankable. It allows you to not have to worry about how you're gonna feed yourself or how you're gonna make it. So for me, having a 9-to-5 is definitely a investing. You have a 9-to-5, so you don't need a 9-to-5.